Good afternoon, students. Today we will see about infection caused by tetanus. Tetanus is an illness characterized by an acute onset of hypotonia, painful muscular spasm, usually in the muscles of jaw and neck, and generalized muscle spasm without appearance of any medical causes. Despite widespread of immunization of infants and children in the USA since 1940, tetanus still occurs in the United States of America. So normally it is caused by a Clostridium tetani, which is a gram-positive spore-forming anaerobic bacilli. I repeat again, gram-positive spore-forming anaerobic bacilli, which is a causative agent for development of tetanus infection. It will be a look like a rod. So morphology, if you see the formality, relatively large gram-positive rod-like shape of bacteria, spore forming and anaerobic in nature and found in soil, especially heavily manured soil and the intestinal tracts and fecus of various animals. Strictly fermentative mode of metabolism. Spores found everywhere over the land, so the spores of tetany are found throughout the world and very resistant to the harsh conditions like heat, radiations, chemicals, drying. Spore can survive for a long period of time over the environment up to 100 years also. Now we will see about the method of transmission. Clostridium tetanicae live for years as spores in the animal fecus and soil. As soon as it enters in the human body through a major or minor wound and the conditions are anaerobic, the spores germinate and release the toxins. Tetanus may follow burns, deep punctures, wounds, ear and dental infections, animal bite, and abortion. Only growing bacteria can produce a toxin, and it is only vaccine preventable disease that is infectious but not contagious from person to person. So, method of transmission will include about any kind of open minor or major wound or any kind of ear or dental infections, animal bite and abortion. Now Clostridium tetani enters through the spores most commonly through the foot or any kind of open wound where the low oxygenation growth conditions are developed, then start developing inside it and it produces the toxicogenic disease. Basically it is responsible for causing the generalized tetanus and most common form of the disease are these. If we see, though Clostridium tetani producing two type of protein toxins. Number one is tetanospasmin and number two is tetanolysin. So tetanospasmin is responsible for development of muscle spasm while tetanolysin is responsible for lysis of RBCs. So this both the toxins are usually released locally and released into the bloodstream and binds to the peripheral motor neuron terminals and through which nerve cells enter into the anterior horn cells of spinal cord and the toxins after entering in the axons transport to the nerve cells through which it will enter into the brainstems and spinal cord and the retrograde intranuclear transports. Toxin migrate across the synapse. Presynaptic terminals block the release of glycine and GABA from vesicles and produces and germinate and vegetate slow grows after gaining access to the wound and after that it will start producing problems in the signals crossing the synapse and it can along with that there will be other synapse along with that there will be a botulinum toxins and diphtheria will also be a part of other two antigens which is responsible for same kind of toxins production. The toxin has no useful function when it is other than just blocking at presynaptic interval. Now, this toxic manifestation is also known as the activator transmitters because as a consequences of this muscle is go for overstimulated and repeatedly contracted is called as spastic paralysis. Now, as it releases the inhibitory neurotransmitters that is glycine and gamma aminobutyric acid that is GABA across the synaptic cleft and which is required to check the nerve impulses. So because of this mechanisms, there will be certain amount of symptoms will be seen in the patient, which include tetanic seizures, that is painful and powerful burst of muscles contractions. If muscle spasms affect the larynx, then patient will have a problem with the asphyxiation, asphyxia, and stiffness of the jaw, that is also called locked jaw, stiffness of the abdominal back muscles, contraction of facial muscles, fast pulses, fever, and sweating. Patient have a manifestation with other symptoms including depends on the what kind trismus, that is depends on the what kind of tetanus has developed. So basically tetanus has been classified in four types. Number 1 is localized, number 2 is cephalal, number 3 is generalized, and number 4 is neonatal. So if you see, two are the uncommon, which one is known as localized and cephalon. In localized, the persistent muscle contraction in the same anatomical area where the injuries happen and which will be however subside after few days, and it is very rarely a fatal, then milder than the generalized tetanus although it could precede it. While cephalic tetanus occurs when the ear infection or following the any kind of the injuries to the head or facial muscle, then the facial muscle go for contraction. That is uncommon. While most common is generalized tetanus, which in descending pattern, starting from the locked jaw, then stiffness of the neck, then difficulty in the swallowing, then rigidity of the abdominal and back muscles, and spasm continues for 3 to 4 weeks, and recovery can last for months, and death occurs when spasm interfere with the respiratory systems. Neonatal tetanus, it is a form of generalized tetanus that occurs in the newborn infants when infants is born without protective passive immunity because of the mother is not immune for the same, and usually occur of the infection of the unhealed umbilical stump, particularly when the stump is cut when the unsterilized surgical instrument has been used. Now, method for the diagnosis. So, based on the patient's account and physical findings, the characteristics of the disease, diagnostic studies generally have a little value. Culture of the wound site are negative for Clostridium tetani for 2/3 of the cases. When the culture is positive, is confirm the diagnosis. Other things will be look for the cultures of the wound side and may be negative for the tetanus also. And tetanus antibody test, another test will include about rule out the meningitis, rabies, then poisoning symptoms and other diseases with a similar kind of symptoms. Now treatment, if the treatment is not sought early, then the disease can be a fatal. Bacteria are killed with antibiotics such as penicillin and tetracycline, and further toxin production is prevented. Toxin is neutralized with a sort of tetanus immunoglobulin, that is TIG, and other drugs may be given to provide a sedation, relaxation, and relief in the pain. To the extreme potency of the toxin, immunity does not result after the disease also. And method of prevention will be immunizations. A person recovering from the tetanus should be begin with active immunization with tetanus toxin, that is TT, during the convalescence. As we know that any kind of injuries are there, even though the minor open wound injuries, initially they will be guided for the take the vaccination for this TT, that is tetania toxins. Along with that, diphtheria and pertussis toxins are can be taken. After the 7 years of the age, only TD needs to be administered, and booster dose will be given after 10 years of the age, and it should be repeated every 10 years. Other supporting measures will include about a bed rest with non-stimulating environment like dim light, reducing noise, and stable temperature may be recommendation. Sedation may be required to keep affected the patient on calm, and respiratory support may be required in case of the patient have oxygen endotracheal tubes or mechanical ventilator depend on the affections of respiratory systems. And wound should be clearly and infected. Disinfectant should be used for all kind of dressing procedures including post-surgical or open wound injuries. This is how the complete tetanus can be managed with the drugs along with the immunizations. Thank you.